And on this Monday, March 24th, 2025 edition of Newsmakers, Gaza's health ministry says Israeli strikes have killed more than 65 Palestinians. The strikes overnight and during the day today came nearly a week after Israel ended its ceasefire with Hamas with a surprise bombardment. Meanwhile, officials say Egypt has introduced a new proposal to try and get the Israel-Hamas ceasefire back on track. Under the proposal, Hamas would release 5 living hostages, including an American Israeli, in return for Israel, allowing humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip and a weeks-long pause in the fighting. A Hamas official said the group had responded positively to the proposal. Meanwhile, air raid sirens and explosions were heard over Jerusalem Monday evening after the Israeli military said it intercepted a missile launched from Yemen. Pope Francis is back at the Vatican after being released from the hospital yesterday. Nayeon Kim reports.
After 38 days in hospital battling double pneumonia, Pope Francis has made his first public appearance, returning to the Vatican on Sunday. Crowds cheered as the Pope appeared at the hospital window before he headed home at his doctor's advice to rest for another 2 months. This has raised questions about how often the 88-year-old pontiff will appear in public. Francis usually holds at least 2 public events a week, but for now the Vatican hasn't said how his schedule will be affected. The Pope is also set to meet with King Charles in 2 weeks and lead Easter celebrations on April 20, but it's unclear whether those events will go ahead. Rosary prayers for the Pope continued in St. Peter's Square. Cardinals and well-wishers have been attending this nightly service for the last month. I'm Nayeon Kim.
Texas Republicans are working on a plan to dismantle forced DEI programs. One plan would order colleges to screen their course catalog for signs of ideological bias.
The course catalog at the University of Texas includes over 400 classes with the word gender in the title.
That's Sherry Sylvester with the Texas Public Policy Foundation, who supports the plan. She says DEI is being eliminated in both public and private companies. She says even the state of California is following the Texas model in getting rid of diversity quotas in hiring. But Sylvester says schools are getting around a DEI ban by increasing the number of courses that push an ideological bias.
What is even more concerning than the proliferation of these classes is when they are used as a substitute for a foundational and fundamental course.
2 bills involving hot-button issues are now South Dakota law. One is House Bill 1259, which bans people identifying as transgender from using a school bathroom or locker room that matches their gender identity. Supporters say it protects girls in private spaces, while opponents call it a knock against the transgender community. Governor Larry Roden also signed House Bill 1239, which will allow people to ask local public libraries or school boards to remove obscene materials. The legislation sparked some fierce debate among lawmakers, parents, educators, and librarians over the past 2 months. In his announcement Friday, Roden said the new laws will protect South Dakota values. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is vetoing a bill that would overturn his executive order banning conversion therapy. The bill also disallows use of Medicaid funds to cover so-called gender-affirming care. And that's Newsmakers for this Monday, March 24th, 2025 edition. I'm Keith Black.